Hello, Gary Champion, psychic medium, once again. I was sitting and looking on the internet today at all the weird things going on and threats of civil war, which ain't going to happen. There's not enough of them, too few of them. And I was going to explain from my standpoint what's been going on for the last several years. A faction comes out of the right, white part of the country claiming they're being screwed, they don't have this, they're being poor us, we're not. And it's not true. It's a lie, but it was sold to a lot of millions of people. And they got in office, which is all they wanted. And they got themselves fat paychecks, lots of money and land, and negotiated deals for themselves, padded their pockets with money and favors like the old days. Went down the road with gold uh, nuggets falling out of their pockets. Everything was good. Now we're back in power. Whoop, wait a minute. The middle of the country saw it for what it was. And it's still kind of the ends of it, still kind of going on. White man goes up to a black church with a shotgun. Now, that happened now. And they stopped him from apparently killing a bunch of people. So all this is going on. It has been for years. But the center part of the country kind of got a hold of it. And all these people that denied who was elected president, who tried to change the vote, who paid money, who coerced people into doing what they wanted to do, those people are going to jail. They're lined up. You can see it. Where are they going to go? And no one's above the law. I love that our Constitution was written hundreds of years ago. And still, it's adjustable. It's adjustable. And yet the basis of it is still there. The basic tenets are still there. Anyway, what we've had is a very toxic government, not for the people or by the people. It's just for us few people, a few 100,000 people putting money in their pockets, buying land, coercing people to sign documents and do things that are totally illegal against all their thinking, especially the lawyers. Where did they think this was going to end? So they did, and they went along with it. Oh, this is going to work. We're going to get Trump will be back in office, and we'll be riding the high life again. We'll be up on those waves, making money and stealing stuff and messing up the ecology and the economy. It's not very many people that it takes to do that. When you gerrymander voting, where black people don't get to vote and these people don't get to vote, when you begin to do that, it's pretty easy to see where it's going to go. But the law is still a law. And a lot of that stuff was illegal. All those executive orders written by Donald Trump are all illegal. And they, of course, in the meantime, they've taken the money and scraped off the top what they could. And now a lot of them are going to jail. So I'm sitting here looking at these things, reading these things, and someone said purging. Interesting. The article I was looking at was one where Rudy Giuliani's, who used to be somebody, he was the governor of New York or mayor of New York, to be so up here, to be so blinded by money and promises of people that don't care anything about him. Now they've ruined his life and his career, and he has nothing, and he's going to jail. Whining the whole way. It wasn't my idea. I didn't do it. So what's going on now is a purging of governmental officials and people who aren't in the government, who are influenced, who had places they could be. I'm surprised the fallout's not worse, that they weren't selling things to Russia and China, and they may have a little bit of dabbling of that going on. They never went through with it. My hearing is that they tried to find what they could sell and decided not to, because that's easily traced. Large sums of money, things. The ruble's not worth anything anyway. Ruble's not worth anything in Russia. So anyway, this is a purging that's going on, and I feel like I'm in an old car going down a road like this, like I'm being knocked and banged around. Oh, this group's saying this and this group's saying this. Follow the money. That was true in Nixon's time. It's the same phrase, and it works. Follow the money. Who's getting the money? Who's getting the land? Who's getting the favors? Who got talked into doing something to get this office if you'll do this illegal thing for me? It will be years unwrapping it, but there'll be people leave the country. It already has happened. Thing is, these other countries, they don't want them either. They're going to send them right back. But it's sort of at the end of a attempted coup, really. I don't put it like that. Into things sort of straightening themselves out, real lawyers and real judges getting into the fray of it. You can't do that. You can't say that. You can't even say that, much less do that. And we clear a lot of these people out. The government will have to straighten up, not because it wants to. These guys don't want to straighten up. They want more money. They want more gold nuggets. They want more favors. That's what they want. They're going to straighten up because so many of them have gone to jail. There's not going to be a whole lot of, and it'll get down to those little guys that they're not going to be in office again. We'll have a whole new roster of idiots, I'm sure, but they'll be more cautious idiots. Money from the far right that wants to get people elected will manage to do that, but their strength is in numbers, and there's not that many of them, and they're being watched. No, they weren't. They were just allowed to run free. Oh, it's the government. But a closer watch. That's what I'm hearing. We need to keep a closer watch on these people because I don't know if you listen to some of these people talk that have just been recently elected to Congress. They're like crazy people. Like crazy. Like Martians came down and took it over, and that's why Donald didn't win. It wasn't Donald's fault. It was the damn Martians. I mean, it's just, as crazy you can get. It's like a cartoon. Mickey made a lot more sense. Anyway, I'm just giving you my slant, and I hear a few words here and there, and they're not all that concerned about it because things will even out. That's what they're saying right now. Things will even out. We've gone through this before. The people are acting like this the first time because they didn't pay attention the first time. When Richard and his group of cronies were getting power and money, and the same thing, and lying about elections and paying people to vote, and that goes back to Richard. Probably goes back to Washington. Some of that going on, but we're sort of getting a hold of it. We're a country that can lose its way, and we lost our way. We were down some dark woods, couldn't even see the sun, and we emerged based on the strength of our Constitution and people willing to answer to that. Someone just said answer to that, and that's pretty much what it is. I have great positive thinking about our country. Other people don't, but we seem to be doing okay. We're straightening our ship up. People are getting a hold of it and making it steer right. And this is way beyond my thinking. This is way beyond my thinking. As a child on a little street in Texas, the wind would do those little whirly gigs, and if you jumped in them, they'd lift you up off the ground. That was my extent of the world. Oh, Mr. Beeman got a new Buick this week. That's a big deal. I'm going to have to water the yard this weekend. Be careful. There's a loose dog. What are we going to do about that? Just everybody's dog was loose. And sometimes dogs would get chewed up. Where do they bring them? They brought them to our house. While they do that, on all the houses, my dad was a veterinarian. Sew them up, patch them, and send them back out. But in front of my house, that was my understanding of the world. They're building a new house down here. It's just down the street from you, which meant that we get a lot of free lumber. They would just give it to you. That which they didn't use, you could pick up and they'd say, yeah, go ahead and take it. We would make rubber band guns and boats to float in the little creeks that went by. We would use that. So it's a nice little neighborhood. And the one thing we didn't do was go telling the other neighborhood over there how to mind their business. A lot of that going on. It's trouble. We stuck with what was right here. And my grandmother lived not far from here. And every day, these big long trains would come. I mean, just close. I mean, there were a 2-lane road, and then there was a huge train. They might have 1,000 cars on it and multiple engines. You can sit and watch it all afternoon. It'd be 1,000 cars. And you get to the end of it, and there was a guy there, or he'd be like this, and you're doing this, or this. I saw a couple of times, and my very, very favorite was this. And that meant that the engineer was telling everybody along the side of the road, everything's okay. We got this under control. Everything's going well. Don't worry about it. Have a nice day. That was an early have a nice day. And grandmother knew them all. Her aunt knew them all. They would the postman come by the house and do a little tap on the screen, and they'd go out and talk to him. What's going on? And say, oh, Mrs. Mary down the road had her baby, and blah blah blah. And he was a go-to guy, and they give him a big old tall glass of ice water, which is expensive back then. Ice water is expensive. That sounds so silly, doesn't it? Not everybody kept that much ice. It was expensive to make. Anyway, they'd have a little short talk, and then you'd see them the next couple of days, or maybe the next day. And we don't know where they came from, but they knew them personally. I knew their families because they would talk about their families and things. Short little visit. Those two old ladies were probably the go-to people on that block anyway. But you don't get these very much anymore. You don't get whatever they're doing. You don't get that, and you certainly don't get that because people are unsure as to what's going on. But things are running along okay. Things are evolving as they should. I hear that periodically, and it just means to me that yes, we went this way, and now we're coming this way, and we're going to do it again. This is what we do. Different factions of people, and it's all about what? I can hear you just yelling. Money. Power. That's all it's about. It's not about the country. Not about the country. But I used to miss that. I'd go down and see him. We'd get that big from the engineer, who was really an engineer. He could, if something went wrong, he'd get a big wrench out this big and tighten and oil something, and the train would run. That was a long time ago, of course, when I was a kid. But sometimes all the country needs is one of these, and they're not getting that. They're getting jerked from one crazy politician, or not even politicians, people with money who want to act like politicians but don't have the brains to do it. They have power and money, so they twist the country around to get it to do what they want to do because of what? Power and money. What we need is not just a president, but a governor or whatever. We can go around and say, they're okay. And every Christmas, the trucks, the ambulances and things go through the neighborhood throwing out candy, and Santa sits on the top, and he's ho ho ho, and the music playing, and he's doing one of these, he's giving one of these, he's giving one of these. Oh, that's what we need. We need to believe in our country again. I've lost faith in the idiots that want to be somebody. Try not to be somebody. Try and do what you're elected to do. Just help us. You don't need to be anybody. You're already pretty much an asshole. And that, for me, is enough for one person. If you're an asshole, that's enough. You're full up. But the trucks the ambulances come, and they're real slow. like 2 miles an hour. It took them all night to get through the neighborhood. People wait up. They're going to do it this Christmas. I can't wait. It's a one-way road, so it goes down. They have to turn around and come back up the road, so you get double. It's on one side going down, the other side going up. And kids are out there getting the candy. We don't have a lot of kids in the neighborhood. It's for old geezers like me, but there are some. They'll gather their candy, and and it'll be this. It'll be oh. And so I'm looking forward to that. And where is that guy in government? I thought we had one, but I'm not sure he's not going to make it to the end. I don't think he has. He's fallen in with the same crowd that was there before. It's about influence and money and legacy. Legacy's a big one with this guy. What am I going to leave behind me? Well, nothing, you idiot. No one who's ever been president. You inherit what people write about you. That's what you get. And the people who write about you are the ones that survived, which doesn't, that's not a good thing necessarily. But I'm waiting for him to, Santa, come by and do that. I wish it weren't August, could, ooh, what's that? Very jingly. Here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus, right down Santa Claus. Ooh, ooh. I have the feel of Christmas in me. As a child waking up Christmas morning, you might get one thing, and it was a bag of underwear or some socks, because we were poor. You get some socks and underwear. Of course, you had to have them anyway. But I didn't put that together. I'm just thinking, I'm getting Santa Claus. I must need underwear. Got some new underwear, and I like new underwear and new socks. So I'm sort of, maybe I'm just going a little crazy. Maybe I'm not really hearing it. Maybe I'm feeling it. Sure, have been a lot of orbs and things around lately, but I could sure use a little of that. I'd even take one of those, or even a big one of those. Yeah, everything's okay. Don't worry so much. It'll be fine. We're gonna get it under control. Santa Claus is coming to town. He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. Thanks for watching my silly channel. No fear, no regret, no anger, and I appreciate you guys.